If you're wondering which noise-canceling earbuds are worth your money, stick around. After we run through each product, I'll give you my personal take. Would I buy it or would I skip it? No fluff, just my honest opinion. Let's get into it.
Jabra Elite 10 Gen 2. These things are seriously comfortable and block out a ton of noise from rumbles to shrill breaks, almost as good as the top-tier Bose. But they kinda suck at silencing your chatty coworker, and the microphone makes you sound like you have a bit of a lisp. Would I buy it? Maybe, if I worked in construction and not an office, because that noise canceling is fantastic for low rumbles, but not so much for voices.
Anker Soundcore Liberty 4. For the price, the noise cancellation on these is shockingly good, making my bus ride way less annoying by muting all that traffic hum. Too bad the microphone makes me sound like I am talking through a pillow, and they've let in just enough high-pitched noise that I can still hear a baby crying 3 aisles away. Would I buy it? Yes, if I am on a budget and care more about drowning out engine noise than having perfect call quality.
Technics AZ100. These earbuds are a bit chunky, but damn do they create a cone of silence, muting everything from train rumbles to office gossip, almost as well as the Bose Kings. The microphone quality is so unremarkable though, you will sound like you were broadcasting from a tin can at the bottom of a well. Would I buy it? Yes, these are fantastic travel companions for long flights where you just want the world to disappear and do not plan on taking any important calls.
Bose QuietComfort earbuds. Let's be real, the noise cancellation here is basically black magic, turning the world completely silent like you are in a library, but outside. The only weird thing is the active noise cancellation itself makes a faint hissing sound, like a tiny snake is living in your ear, which is kind of creepy when there is no music on. Would I buy it? Yes, if I wanted the undisputed champion of shutting the world up, and I am willing to ignore the faint hiss of my tiny new snake friend.
EarFun Free Pro 2. These little guys claim to block 40 decibels of noise, and they do a decent job with low rumbles, which is nice, but calling their active noise cancellation Pro is a joke. It does not work miracles. The battery dies in about 4 hours, and your friends will hear every single sound around you on a call. Would I buy it? No, unless my only goal was to have some cheap tiny buds for a very short, quiet jog where I do not need to talk to anyone.
Nothing Ear Earbuds 2024. These things look like they escaped from a sci-fi movie, and their noise cancellation does a decent job of quieting the world, but it's not quite at the level of the big shots like Apple or Bose. Honestly, a strong gust of wind makes them sound like you're in a hurricane simulator because they forgot to add a wind reduction mode, which is just a fantastic design choice. Would I buy it? Maybe, if I wanted to look cool and didn't live somewhere windy, because the noise canceling is pretty good for the price, just not the best on the block.
Sennheiser Momentum True Wireless 4 Earbuds. Sennheiser came to play, with noise cancellation so good it occasionally makes the AirPods Pro 2 look over their shoulder in fear, quieting down a ton of noise and making your commute feel like a silent retreat. That said, it's not quite the absolute black hole of silence you get from Bose, and you might still hear some sharp noises sneak through. Would I buy it? Yes, these are serious contenders that pack fantastic sound and an anti-wind feature that actually works, making them a great all-around choice for drowning out the chaos.
Jabra Elite 85T. These earbuds have noise canceling so effective it can apparently make you feel dizzy, which is one hell of a feature to put on the box, but it absolutely demolishes low mid-range sounds like a boss. Their secret is a semi-open design, which sounds great, but means the passive isolation isn't as strong as sticking 2 potatoes in your ears, so the active noise cancellation has to work overtime. Would I buy it? Yes, if you want to control your noise cancellation level with a slider and enjoy physical buttons like a civilized person, these are a solid pick that holds its own against the AirPods Pro.
Apple AirPods Pro 2. Apple finally decided to get serious, and the noise canceling on these is a massive leap, making the originals sound like they were barely even trying, by blocking out twice as much background noise. They still haven't quite caught up to the cone of silence that Bose provides, but for everyday use, they turn office chatter and train rumbles into a faint murmur. Would I buy it? Yes, if you're in the Apple ecosystem, the seamless experience and shockingly impressive, well-balanced sound make these a no-brainer for tuning out the world.
Samsung Galaxy Buds 3 Pro. Samsung's new design is certainly a choice, and the noise canceling is fine. It'll hush the outside world, but it's a step behind what Sony and Bose are doing, and some say it's even worse than the last generation. The good news is they are super comfortable and sound great, but the active noise cancellation feels a bit like they did just enough to pass the class instead of acing the test. Would I buy it? No, because while the call quality is excellent, the main reason you buy noise-canceling buds is for the noise canceling, and these are just decent, not amazing.
OnePlus Buds 4. These things are absolute noise-canceling monsters. So good at silencing the world, it's genuinely unsettling. Like that one friend who's a little too quiet. But man, the sound tuning is a total regression. It feels like they spent the entire budget on the noise canceling and then let an intern tune the audio, because the sound signature changes every time you switch the active noise cancellation mode. Would I buy it? Yes. If you want to pretend the world doesn't exist for a budget-friendly price, these are your ticket to blissful ignorance.
Google PixelBuds Pro 2. Google's noise cancellation here is pretty damn good. It'll happily gobble up the rumble of a bus or the drone of an airplane, but it's not quite playing in the big leagues with the top-tier competition. The downside is they're not great with wind, so your windy day walk might sound like you're in a hurricane, and your quiet library neighbor might get a tinny sample of your guilty pleasure playlist because they leak sound. Would I buy it? Maybe. If you're a Pixel phone owner and want a solid, if not mind-blowing, noise-canceling experience that integrates well with your phone.
Bowers and Wilkins Pi 7S2. These buds are champs at blocking out office chatter and do a decent job with low rumbles. Plus, the transparency mode actually works, letting you hear approaching e-bike riders before they become a hood ornament. However, the noise canceling isn't as earth-shatteringly good as some rivals, and the soundstage is so intimate it feels like the band is playing inside your school, which is not as cool as it sounds. Would I buy it? No, because while the audio quality is fantastic, the noise canceling feels a bit mid-tier for a top-tier price, and the 5-hour battery life is just okay.
Sony WF-1000XM5. Sony really stepped up its game here. The active noise cancellation is excellent, turning the screech and clatter of a subway into a distant memory. And the new foam tips create a seal so good, they're basically fancy earplugs. My main gripe is you can't adjust the intensity of the noise cancellation. So when I could still hear the rumble of a high-speed train, I was just left wishing I could crank it up to 11. Would I buy it? Yes. These are a commuter's dream, providing top-notch noise cancellation and comfort that makes them a treat to use on the daily grind.
Audio-Technica ATH-TWX9. The noise canceling on these is quite nice, successfully shutting down almost 50 decibels of annoying high-frequency sounds, which is more than enough to save your sanity on your commute. But for the love of God, don't take a phone call in a windy park. The noise suppression is not great, and you'll sound like you're reporting from the middle of a tornado. Plus, some music just sounds a bit piercing and weird. Would I buy it? Maybe, if you prioritize having multiple active noise cancellation profiles and high-quality codec support over having the absolute best call quality on the market.
Bose QuietComfort Earbuds 2. These things have absolutely god-tier noise canceling, making my loud neighbors sound like a whisper and the subway rumble just disappear entirely. It's honestly a bit startling how much sound gets filtered out. But for this sky-high price, you'd expect them to connect to more than one device at a time, and the background hiss in quiet moments is like having a tiny, annoying snake in your ear, which is a real bummer for a flagship product. Would I buy it? Yes, if my life's mission was to achieve total silence and my wallet was already crying from other expensive life choices.
JLab JBuds ANC3. These budget buds actually slapped my neighbor's terrible DJ set into oblivion, and they didn't fall out once during my jog, which is more than I can say for some pricier ones. However, trying to use the touch controls is a complete joke since they're so finicky, and they sometimes squeal like a stuck pig if you hold them wrong. Plus, the active noise canceling can sometimes amplify noise instead of blocking it, which is not ideal. Would I buy it? Yes, if you want to shut out the world on a budget and don't mind using your phone for controls because the earbuds' own controls are basically possessed.
Samsung Galaxy Buds Live. These shiny beans look like they're from the future, and they do a surprisingly decent job at hushing low rumbles for something that just sits in your ear without plugging it, which is kind of a magic trick considering their open-ear design. But let's be real, the active noise canceling is like bringing a water pistol to a firefight compared to the Bose. It works to quiet things down a bit, but you're still going to hear way too much of the outside world for it to be considered top tier. Would I buy it? Maybe, if I wanted to look fashionable and still be able to hear the bus that's about to hit me because the active noise canceling is more of a gentle suggestion than a command.
Anker's Soundcore Liberty 5. For less than €100, these buds made my neighbor's lawnmowers sound like a distant, powerless dream, and people can actually hear me on calls even in a hurricane, which is pretty wild for the price. Cranking the active noise canceling to the maximum does introduce a bit of a hiss, and the transparency mode is so noisy it kind of sounds like you're standing next to a waterfall, which defeats the purpose a little. Would I buy it? Yes, if I want killer noise canceling and call quality without having to sell a kidney, as long as I don't plan on using the transparency mode to eavesdrop on conversations. Beats Studio Buds Plus. These are a huge step up in the noise canceling department, doing a fantastic job of shutting up chatty people on the bus and turning the low rumble of plane engines into a faint hum. But you can't tweak the sound at all, so if you find the vocals and instruments a bit harsh, you're pretty much screwed. And they might just launch themselves out of your ears if you try doing a workout more intense than walking. Would I buy it? Maybe, if I commute a lot and want to silence the masses, but I'm not planning on hitting the gym with them unless I feel like going on an expensive earbud scavenger hunt afterwards.
Thanks for watching. I hope this video helped you pick the noise-canceling earbuds for you. If you have any questions, drop a comment below. Links to all these products mentioned in this video will be in the description.